Hi there, Wayne Hedlund here with Wayne Hedlund Consulting. In this video, we're going to just talk for a few moments about how to make bulk edits in Asana. Now, before I start, I'll just tell you a very quick story. Just a few days ago, I was actually here at my desk and I pulled out a can of nuts and of mixed nuts. And when I pulled it out, I actually dropped it, and all of the nuts just the lid came off and exploded all over the floor of my office. As you can imagine, I was not a happy camper. Now, it would be pretty crazy if you happened to walk in my office and I was down on my hands and knees picking up each of those nuts one by one, right? Nobody would do that. No, I went and found the maintenance closet. I got a broom and a dustpan. And what did I do? I picked up all of those nuts in bulk, right? I took them all at once. And in Asana, we need to know how to do things in bulk. We need to know how to make edits to more than one task at a time. And what I find a lot of times with organizations and individuals is that they don't know how to do this. And it's just a very, very simple thing, but it can really strengthen and maximize your efficiency as an individual when you're trying to work in Asana. This is actually especially important when you start using the My Tasks feature in Asana. If you don't understand how to select a bunch of tasks at once in My Tasks, then you're going to be stuck one by one, trying to triage and organize your task, and it's going to be very overwhelming and frustrating. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to select in bulk a number of tasks and do a bunch of things. So I've got here a demo project. I'm going to go ahead and open up the planning phase of this particular project, and we can see a number of tasks. Of course, this is a demo workspace. I've got some really interesting characters here on my team, but you'll notice here I have one task that's selected. So what I need to do first is understand there's basically 2 or 3 different ways that I can highlight a bunch of tasks, and we'll talk about how we can edit them in bulk. So one of the ways that will often work is to just click and drag. Problem is the click and drag method only works in certain scenarios. So if, for instance, I moused over the actual words here, and if I click and drag and I don't drag properly, now there I actually clicked and dragged and it worked. See, I was able to highlight a bunch of tasks as 6 tasks selected. So that actually worked. But what'll happen is I find sometimes people will try to highlight something like this and it won't work. Or they'll click over a particular button and like the get things done button, and they'll accidentally click something is done. The other thing is this click and drag doesn't work in certain scenarios. So I can't actually simulate it not working, which is great. So probably the easiest method is the click and drag method. The other method is going to be to select the top task or the bottom, select the top task, and then on your keyboard, hold down the shift key and select the bottom task. So task 1 to 8, I'm going to select the bottom task. I'm not clicking and dragging right now, but when I click shift and then click that bottom task, it highlighted all the tasks in between. That's the method that I actually tend to use a little bit more, is that click and using the shift key. Either way, that's how we're going to select a number of tasks in bulk. Now, before we talk about editing those tasks, let's talk about one more thing, and that is, what if we want to select tasks that aren't connected to one another? In other words, all these tasks are connected, but let's say I wanted to select all of the even tasks, 2, 4, 6, 8, but I didn't want to select the odd tasks. So in that scenario, we have to use the control key on our keyboard if you're using a PC, or the command key on your keyboard if you're using a Mac. So I'm holding down the control key. I'm a PC user, and I selected this first one. I'm going to hold down the control key, and now I'm just going to select task number 4 and 6 and 8 and 10 and 12. And now you can see each of those tasks have been selected, but the tasks in between have not. I can see 6 tasks have been selected. So this is how we're going to select a bunch of tasks at once. Now, what can we do once we've selected a bunch of tasks in bulk? this is where this particular feature is really helpful, because first of all, we have this black bar that Asana creates for us. Very helpful black bar with a number of buttons. So if I wanted to, I can go ahead and move all these tasks to different sections. That's what this up and down arrow key is for. So if I click on this with all of these selected, I have the different sections. So I can move this from the planning section to, let's say, the closing section. I go down to the closing, and there are all of my tasks right there. So I can click that again and pop them back up to the planning section if I want. That's nice. I can also multi-home them into another project. So let's say this expand office space project. So now these 10 tasks are actually living in 2 different projects. Okay, so I can select the particular stage that I want it to be in that project as well. I'm going to go ahead and remove it from that, so I can actually remove it. I have the ability to assign them all to one person. So right now they're assigned to multiple people, but if I want them to go to my friend Donald, there they are. I can give them all the same due date. Let's say I want them to all be the 11th. So you can see I can even delete them. So these are some things that we can do in bulk. The other thing is we have this little 3-dot ellipses here, and this lets us get even deeper. So for instance, if I want to add collaborators, I can go ahead and remove Edna from all of these tasks, so she's no longer a collaborator. Or I can go ahead and, of course, add her in as well. So that's meaningful. I can copy the task links so that I can actually paste them somewhere else, and it'll link all of those tasks in wherever I paste it. That's really helpful, like in an email or in another task or summary or status report, where you want to be able to help people be able to very quickly link to those particular tasks. I can mark them all as milestones here, or I can unmark them as milestones, and you get the point. A couple little features that I really like is, first of all, I can create dependencies. So let's say I want all these tasks to be dependent on the approve budget task. This is really helpful to be able to, in bulk, be able to just say, I want all of those tasks to be dependent on this one. In other words, before I can mark these tasks as done, the approved budget task needs to be marked done first. Okay, so I mark that as done, and now all of those are going to become available. That worked really nicely. And then the last one that I really like is, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull back right here, that approved budget there item again. And another thing that I really like is the ability, and I think this is something that's relatively new, is the ability in bulk to convert a number of subtasks into, or a number of tasks into subtasks. So now I can click convert to subtasks, and I'll find that particular task right there, approved budget. It's part of my Northeast Fall Demo Initiative right here. And now all those tasks have become subtasks of the approved budget. There they are right there. Very helpful. And incidentally, I can select all of these subtasks using the same tool. Okay, I can, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I can come in here and select all of these subtasks by highlighting them. And if I don't want them to be subtasks, another very easy and quick tool is to find the little where your cursor turns into a hand right here. Find the 6-dot grippy, and if you highlight them all and click and drag, you can actually drag all those subtasks back out into being the parent level tasks. So again, super helpful. The last thing that I will mention that is really nice is if you have some quick edits that you want to make, and I'm going to go ahead and well, I'll just leave that right there as it is. But if there's some other edits that you want to make, let's say that I'll go ahead and select the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, right? So these 5 tasks, I can use this black bar. For me personally, I find myself actually just coming in, and if if as long as it's visible on the screen, I can actually edit all of them in bulk by just using what I see on the screen. So for instance, I can change the department for all of these to the finance department or the human resources department. I can come in here and change the status to in progress. I can change the due date on these 5 tasks to a different date. And of course, I can go ahead and change the assignee to somebody as well. So if it's right here visible on the screen, and incidentally, what I use it for more than anything, whenever I see this, I use this up and down arrow key. Instead of this one, I tend to just grab them here and throw them into the section that that I want to, right? So I just move those tasks all down here. I want to move them back. I just highlighted them. I just click the up and down arrow key and put them back into the planning phase. All right. So, and then I guess I should mention one other. So right in here, we also have the edit fields option. And so what this is going to do is if there are a number of custom fields that are being used, you can actually edit those right in here. So I've got a custom field called publish date, and all of these need to be published, let's say by that, or an estimated hours. I could change the estimated hours if I want to be maybe 50 minutes or something like that. Or 0.5 probably, like, would that be the case? So if you have custom fields, you're also able to adjust them in that way as well. All right. So really, really meaningful. This is going to really potentially be a game changer for any of you who didn't know that you can make massive changes in Asana in bulk. I hope you found this video super helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great, great day.